Imagine a world without phones, radios, or even written messages. How did ancient civilizations communicate over vast distances? Welcome to Zain Facts channel, where today we dive into the mysterious and ingenious methods of ancient telecommunication, focusing on the fascinating use of echo chambers. Before modern technology, civilizations developed innovative methods to transmit information across long distances. One of the most intriguing of these was the use of echo chambers, a concept that might seem primitive but was remarkably effective in its time. These chambers allowed people to communicate over distances that would otherwise seem impossible without the tools we take for granted today. For instance, in ancient Greece, amphitheaters were constructed with acoustics in mind. The Greeks knew that sound waves could bounce off hard surfaces and designed their structures to maximize these echoes effectively. The theater at Epidaurus, built in the 4th century BC, is a marvel of ancient engineering. It is so perfectly designed that even today, a coin dropped at the center of the stage can be heard clearly at the top of the 55-row seating area. This design wasn't merely for the sake of clarity in performances. It was a testament to the ancient Greeks' understanding of how sound waves behave and how they could be manipulated to serve human needs. These chambers played a significant role in religious ceremonies across various cultures. Echoes were believed to be the voices of the gods, reinforcing the divine atmosphere during rituals and making the experience even more powerful for participants. The use of sound in this way elevated the spiritual experiences of these ancient peoples, connecting them to the divine in a very real and audible way. Echo chambers were also strategically used in ancient warfare. Communication on the battlefield is crucial, and in times before the invention of radio or even more rudimentary forms of long-distance communication, armies had to rely on creative methods to relay messages. Soldiers could use these chambers to communicate across distances or create the illusion of larger forces. In medieval Europe, castles often had hidden echo chambers within their walls that could transmit sound from one part of the fortress to another, enhancing communication and security. One fascinating example comes from the Roman Colosseum, where the design of the structure created natural echo chambers. These were sometimes used to amplify the sounds of the crowd, making the events feel even more dramatic and overwhelming, adding to the spectacle. Imagine the roar of 50,000 spectators being echoed and amplified, filling the air with an almost tangible sense of excitement and fear. The use of echo chambers in such a setting shows how the Romans not only understood sound but also the psychology of crowds. In some castles and grand buildings, architects designed whispering galleries where even a whisper could be heard across the room due to the acoustic design. This was not just a novelty, but a critical security feature for sending messages discreetly without the risk of interception. Imagine being able to communicate secret plans or warnings with just a whisper that could be heard by someone standing far away, hidden from view. The Whispering Gallery at St. Paul's Cathedral in London is a famous example where the design allows whispers to travel around the dome. So, how do echo chambers work? They rely on the principles of sound reflection. When a sound wave hits a hard surface, it bounces back, creating an echo. The shape and materials of the chamber determine how the sound is reflected and how long the echo lasts. In ancient times, builders would experiment with different shapes and materials to create the desired echo effects, showcasing their deep understanding of acoustics. This understanding was not merely academic, it was practical and applied in ways that had real-world impacts on communication, security, and even warfare. One record-setting example is the Hamilton Mausoleum in Scotland, which holds the record for the longest echo in a man-made structure, lasting an astonishing 15 seconds. Such a long echo was not merely an accident of construction, but a deliberate feature, likely intended to awe and impress visitors with the power and permanence of the monument. The ancient Mayans, too, understood the power of echoes and used them in their architecture. At the Pyramid of Kukulkan, clapping at the base produces an echo that sounds like the chirp of a quetzal bird, a species sacred to the Mayans. This effect was likely intentional, reflecting the Mayans' sophisticated understanding of sound. The chirping echo would have reinforced the spiritual significance of the pyramid, linking the natural world with their religious beliefs. Echo chambers were not just functional, but also held cultural significance. In many ancient societies, echoes were considered mystical or supernatural. The way sound could seem to come from nowhere or repeat without an obvious source led to legends and beliefs that these echoes were the voices of spirits or gods. The echoes in certain sacred sites were often interpreted as divine communication, a tangible connection between the earthly and the spiritual realms. The Chinese philosopher Confucius is said to have visited echo chambers and meditated there, believing the echoes were the voices of his ancestors, offering guidance and wisdom. In a time when ancestral worship was a key part of Chinese spirituality, such echoes would have been seen as direct messages from the past, linking the present generation with their revered ancestors. In Islamic architecture, the echo chambers in mosques were designed to amplify the call to prayer, ensuring it could be heard clearly across the community. This not only served a practical purpose, but also enhanced the spiritual experience for worshippers. The echoing call to prayer would have filled the streets, reminding everyone of their faith and duties, reinforcing the communal and spiritual bonds that held Islamic societies together. The use of echo chambers is a testament to the ingenuity of ancient civilizations. Long before modern technology, these societies harnessed the natural properties of sound to communicate, entertain, and even wage war. Next time you hear an echo, remember, it's not just a quirk of acoustics, it's a window into a sophisticated ancient world that understood the power of sound. The story of echo chambers doesn't end with ancient history. Even today, these principles are used in modern architecture, music, and communication technologies. Concert halls and theaters are designed with acoustics in mind, ensuring that every note and every word is heard clearly by the audience. In a way, we are continuing the legacy of those ancient architects who first understood how to manipulate sound for human benefit. Furthermore, the concept of echo chambers has taken on a new meaning in the digital age. Social media and online communities often create echo chambers where people only encounter information or opinions that reinforce their own beliefs. This modern echo chamber, while metaphorical, is just as powerful as its ancient counterpart, showing how the basic principles of sound and communication still influence our lives in profound ways. As we continue to explore and understand the world around us, it's important to remember the lessons of the past. The ancient use of echo chambers reminds us that innovation often comes from understanding and harnessing the natural world, rather than simply imposing technology upon it. Whether in the amphitheaters of Greece, the pyramids of the Mayans, or the mosques of the Islamic world, the manipulation of sound has always been a key part of human culture and communication. So next time you find yourself in a space with a remarkable echo, take a moment to appreciate the centuries of knowledge and innovation that went into creating that effect. It's a connection to our ancestors who, without the technology we have today, found ways to communicate and connect with each other across time and space. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more fascinating insights into the history and science behind the world around us. Until next time, keep exploring and stay curious.